On that note, ladies and gentlemen, it is true that the future of beauty will be shaped through game-changing green sciences powered by beauty tech and multiplied by cutting-edge technologies, which brings us to our next keynote segment, Future Consumer Engagement with Beauty. Like we've been mentioning the entire day, this is a phygital event. Whilst our speakers may not be physically present here, they will be joining us digitally. Hence, ladies and gentlemen, joining us virtually for this very important segment is Ms. Asmita Dubey, Global Chief Digital and Marketing Officer and member of the Executive Committee, L'Oreal.
Today, the subject is more about beauty consumer journeys. I'm from L'Oreal, and my name is Asmita Dubey. And for the introduction, I'm speaking to all of you from Paris, and I'm extremely happy to speak to the forum today. We are eager to share with you about ourselves. You all know the name L'Oreal. You know that we have a fairly good brand aspiration and brand awareness, but this is about the group. And as a group, I just want to share a bit about the group before getting into the beauty consumer journeys. But as a group, our purpose is to create the beauty that moves the world. And I have shared the sound. So if somebody can write or say that, I'm going to play a video, and hope you can see the video here with a good sound quality.
We create beauty, but not just beauty. Beauty that stands for all people around the world. Beauty that considers nature as its future. Beauty as a powerful force that moves us. Beauty that builds technology to make people's lives easier. Beauty that fights climate change. Create the beauty that moves the world. L'Oréal.
Okay, was the sound okay? I take that as a yes. We are the #1 cosmetic group in the world. We are L'Oreal. We are more than a century old, and we are pure players in beauty. And when we say we are pure players in beauty, it means that we do multifaceted beauty across category, across distribution, across price points, and across product and services. And this we do through 4 different business divisions. And these divisions have a shared dedication to beauty, which is to create the beauty that moves the world. Yeah. Overall, as a group, I think somebody has gone, okay, you want to make it full screen. Thank you very much. Yeah. So we do that within the divisions, and at the same time, we do it with a combination of 35 brands, which live in our divisions. Like L'Oréal Paris is the biggest beauty brand in the world, and it is part of our consumer products division. There's Lancome, Yves Saint Laurent, Armani, Kiehl's, which are part of L'Oréal Luxe. We have professional products division with Redken, Kerastase, and the salon brand L'Oréal Professional. And then there are brands like La Roche-Posay, Vichy, SkinCeuticals, CeraVe, which are about dermatological beauty and therefore active cosmetic and bring health and beauty to our consumers. What we share, and what we believe is that when we talk about L'Oréal Group and the success factors of L'Oréal, it is based on a number of things, but for sure, like I shared these 35 brands, it is based on the power of our brands. It is based on the multiple categories that we operate in. So whether it is about skincare and skincare acceleration, or makeup, or hair care, hair coloration, body care, there are many different categories in which we operate. Our success is also based on our innovation of our products and services, and of course, science-based innovation, but also green sciences. And there is a lot of work and commitment on green science here. And one of the factors of our success has been our digital transformation. And I think that's the subject we wanted to talk more, with the organizers. We are very committed also in terms of our marketing fuels and re-engineering them all the time to kind of keep pace with what is required in the marketplaces today. So I'm going to pivot from now on to digital transformation and talk a bit about what has happened and where we see the beauty consumer journeys today, and where we see the beauty consumer journeys going, and how we are preparing for all of that. So digital transformation at L'Oréal Group has been more than a decade's commitment. I mean, it was back in 2010 when our previous CEO, Jean-Paul Agong, he kind of said that this is the year of digital. We're going to start. Yeah, we started doing our first joint business plans with groups like Alibaba early on in 2012. We had a CDO nomination to the executive committee back in 2014. And since then, step by step, we have working through e-commerce acceleration, digital factories, measurement, open innovation, bringing in new AR companies, accelerating on social commerce, advocacy, and doing all of that with a balance of the full funnel for our consumer. Yeah. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes to explain some of this and share experiences and best practices, which hopefully are helpful for you. For example, if you look at e-commerce acceleration, then 26 to 27% of our business worldwide is coming from online, from e-commerce. And that has been years of acceleration and a lot of different pillars of that growth, whether it is partnerships, content, supply chain, services, events, assortment, media on e-commerce, data analytics, and very, very importantly, building the organization and talent ahead of the growth. Then the second leg of transformation is scalable engines of growth, because when we are looking at a company the size like ours, and there are 85,000 people, we are there in so many countries, we are operating 35 brands, it's important that whatever we do scales. And in that scale, there are different pieces of it. For example, simply websites. We have like almost 450 content websites and more than 200 direct-to-consumer websites. So we need a factory to operate that at scale. We have content studios which produce thousands and thousands of PDPs and social content every year. And then this content has to be put into digital asset managers or product information management systems. And that itself runs into hundreds of thousands of SKU and almost millions of asset in our DAM, what you call the digital asset manager. From there on, one sec, I'm just going to remove my call here. Carry on. So moving on from the fact that we are creating scalable engines of growth, the movement is a bit slow. Give me a second. Yeah, so here is what I was talking about in terms of scalable engines of growth and digital factories. Or here is a view of when we are talking about content and digitalizing content, how do you take mobile as a device and start creating beauty, and visual beauty there. So it took us a couple of years to start looking at Instagram and mastering Instagram, creating studios, putting makeup on Instagram and Facebook, creating short ads in terms of 6 seconds or 15 seconds or mobile friendly advertising, making content for our website, which reflects the beauty, that our brands want to share with the consumers. And then not only that, because the platform, today is a world of platform and the platform marketing keeps on evolving, then every couple of years we have to master new platforms and how to do beauty with those new platforms. So you see here examples of a couple of our brands. The first two are around TikTok as the new platform or any short video platform that might be there. And the second one is an example from China on live streaming. And live streaming has been scaling more in some parts of the world than the other. But as a group, if I were to give you a number, in 2021, we have done more than 10,000 live streams with our brands and with our retailers and partners. So that's a kind of scale that you need to start putting in a system so that the system starts becoming effective in terms of digital marketing. And then we are always exploring new business models in beauty. And one of these new business models is the acceleration of social commerce. India is an extremely social market. There's a lot of users there. And here you see an example coming from our professional product division. So our professional product division is a B2B business, which is between L'Oreal, the professional product brands, and the hair salons and the hairstylists. And, you know, actually with COVID and post the pandemic, there has been a lot of digitalization of that business model. So what platforms and digital allows us to do is bring those hairstylists and their clients and consumers in contact with each other so that they can explore products on a certain platform, have conversations with each other, do consultations, make bookings for themselves, and therefore create an engaging relationship. And this is an example from India where we are scaling this very, very fast, and we have thousands and thousands of consumers there. So that was some of the things that we do. And the last thing I will explain in terms of the last, a few years of our digitalization journey is part of that digitalization journey is also the move from product to services. So we have been becoming more of a services company and offering not just digital, but also physical devices and services. But here you see many, many examples of the digital services that we are doing. Either they are based on augmented reality, like virtual try-ons on makeup and hair coloration, and even nails. So you can augment the nail color, through digital services, or you have skin diagnosis and shade finders, which are very artificial intelligence based. So if the volume is working, I'm going to take one or two examples there so that you can visualize what it means for our brands. And here is an example of skin diagnosis from Garnier.
Decode your skin in one selfie. New Garnier Skin Coach AI. 20 years of research with 15,000 faces analysed to create a clinically precise skin diagnosis powered by AI. Discover your skin strengths and get a tailor-made skincare routine. Get your diagnosis now. New Garnier Skin Coach AI by Garnier, naturally.
And then one more example, maybe on foundations and shade finders. And this example is from Lancome brand.
Can't find your shade online? Discover the new eShade Finder, a unique 360 selfie technology to analyze your skin tone and undertone in every light angle, thanks to a database of 22,000 skin tones. We commit to find your perfect shade online with new eShade Finder.
Yeah, and the kind of convenience this brings to our consumers, on their mobile phone, on retail, in the product PDPs, or even offline, is huge. And we see a lot of course, good conversion, but good engagement with our consumers. So from here, the summary of all of this and what I want to share with you in short is to say that we have been digitalizing the beauty consumer journey over the last decade. And that digitalization includes new touch points, new platforms, but new adapted content and services that we are bringing to our consumers. Now, the digital adoption of the whole world will continue to grow and accelerate. Here you see decade on decade. In 2010, there were about 2 billion people that were online all over the world. In 2020-21, we expect around 5 billion people, that is 60% of the world is online. And by 2030, approximately 7.5 billion people in the world will be online. So towards this, if we are calling this today, if we are saying that we are in Web 2, that Web 2 is still very much in deployment for the whole world. Right? And that Web 2 had these mood boards where you had digital transformation, video, live streaming, machine learning and AI, image recognition, voice, SaaS, cloud, automation. And that's the last 10 minutes that I have shown to you, that what that Web 2 deployment means for a beauty company like ourselves and for beauty consumer journeys. Still, if we look at where we are today, we are living through a new digital reality, and this new digital reality is starting to permeate all our lives. Yeah, and within that 5 billion people, I want to take 4 examples here, and I'm going to elaborate them a bit. There are almost 3 billion people who are playing some kind of digital game. And there are also women who are playing it. So if you look at mobile games, PCs, consoles, all of them include some form of sophisticated or not so sophisticated gaming. That number is big. If we look at extended reality, it's about 800 million people. If we look at crypto and decentralized finance and all that new advent of new currencies, there are about 330 million people. And then what is coming up as digital ownership or wallet users is about 100 million people worldwide and projected to grow in one form or the other. So let me take a minute on all of that, because what we are seeing today in terms of Web3 is starting from gaming, because gaming started to impact all our experiences in the last 2 or 3 years. Yes, it is a new way for us to engage with our consumers, but it is a new way to socialize for a Gen Z. It is a new way to watch sports, because the esports are as big as NFL. It is also a new way to be entertained. And here is an example of Stranger Things on Netflix, which has a parallel in Roblox. And there you have the skins and gamification of that whole series going on, and Netflix itself is getting into games. Then the second bar that I was speaking about was everything to do with extended reality. So extended reality includes augmented reality, and augmented reality, I showed you some of the AR-based technologies where we are pioneering in beauty. But then virtual reality is gaining a lot of momentum, and virtual reality is like being in a totally different world. And a combination of those two is the mixed reality, where there's a lot of utility, is, for example, in medical surgery, and you see it here in the visual and the video. So this is impacting and changing and adding more digital layers to our life. The third thing that is happening is the new economics of tokenomics and cryptonomics, which is predicted to grow a lot, and that is being supported by blockchain as a technology. And the last point I want to make is the changes that are going on today is the revolutionizing digital ownership, which is what everybody is talking about as non-fungible tokens. Again, non-fungible tokens are seeing utilities and a lot of adoption in digital fashion, in NFT music, in crypto art, and there are other categories, and brands are starting to make that journey. So as a result of that, what is happening is that there's a great rebranding, and 2021 has been a tipping point where we are saying that if Web 1 was 1990s to 2005 and people were reading information, Web 2.0 is about reading and writing, and it was this whole era of social and platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, all growing, and that has moved over. And 2021 has been a tipping point wherein we are calling the whole new chapter of web the Web 3, which will be an internet of ownership and spaces. And therefore, we will move from read plus write to read plus write plus own. Now, in this new chapter of the web, if you start looking at the mood board, right, because I shared with you the mood boards of Web 2 and the acceleration over the last few years for L'Oreal and for beauty consumer journeys. So it is only natural that we start thinking of what are the mood boards for the future. And today, the mood board for the future are gaming, Roblox, AR, VR, creators, a digital self, spatial computing, maybe meta in the future. So the metaverse and the term metaverse itself, which is a very, very buzz term at the moment, is a dream of this next iteration of the internet. And there are different ways in which people are defining the metaverse, but essentially it's about a lot of passion and digital activities by people who are comfortable with digital twins of themselves in places which are virtual places, and with products which are moving to virtual products and virtual goods and virtual ownership. Yes, I mean, in this space, there is a lot of hype. And you see in the Google Trends chart here that when you search the term metaverse, it was quite flat for a very long time. And then Facebook changed their name to Meta, and that's the October of 2021. And there is a big spike there, and the spike is beginning to settle down. So the hype was rising, but it is also falling. But now it is at a higher base level in April, May 2022 onwards. Now, what we feel and we believe and we are thinking about is, well, whether it is a hype and what part of it is a bubble is one thing, but at the same time, there is massive creative energy today. There is creative energy where we are saying that all these technologies and XR are becoming a creative medium. And as in marketing, we are probably making a shift and a huge shift They will come where we will move from 2D to 3D production and 3D content. And some examples here you see, whether it is digital art or 3D storyboarding or avatar influencers or 3D advertising and ad formats, you know, that Twitter is just opening. This creative energy will stay. And the second thing that we think in terms of what is going to happen is just we can more or less imagine a vastly superior user experience. I mean, one has to only think that when the smartphones came into being, it was a look down smartphone, and it changed the consumer interactions and behavior of people all over the world dramatically in the last decade or so. So from here, if technologies allow us to make a convenient, today it is not like that, but if we are going to have convenient and smart face-forward devices, one can only imagine where the user interactions would go. So what we believe is that we have to prepare ourselves for that future, and the beauty consumer journeys of the future therefore will have platforms of today, but it will also have Web3 platforms which may be more decentralized. We would have content that have moved from 2D to 3D. We will do social, but that social and the community and the cohorts could intensify even more. The personalization will take new shape. Privacy would take new shape. Business models would take new shape, because you will have subscription models, but you can have virtual products as well. Currencies will change and payment systems will change, and we will live in a world of O plus O plus O, online plus offline plus on chain. You know, and that world, of course, and there your previous speaker was also saying that that world will be extremely tech and digital, but that world will also be very responsible in terms of sustainability. That world will be very, very advanced in terms of delivery systems, which might be, you know, led by drone delivery systems. There may be product printing, which is changing. So we are constantly thinking about how we should prepare ourselves for the future beauty consumer journeys. But no matter we are in Web 2 or Web 3, I mean, our focus and goal is to always design beauty consumer journeys and keep deploying them at scale, and then just take them step by step and evolve through it. And not just design, but design responsibly. The best consumer engagement in beauty that is driven by a 360 digital edge, that is serving our purpose to create the beauty that moves the world. And that is, at the same time, I'm re-emphasizing the word responsible here, because yes, maybe the world is physical, digital, and virtual, but our endeavor is always to build and enhance the power of our brands, and to do it responsibly, to do it and to operate with the new ways of working in today's world, and to nurture and have fantastic talent in our group while doing all of that. So that's a bit of a short sharing on beauty consumer journeys from my side, and that's the end of it. Happy to take any questions, or I hope the viewing experience and the experience of the presentation was okay for you from this far all the way from Paris. Thank you very much.